Happy Kansas Day. On this day, 153 years ago, Kansas was admitted into the Union. Our state was born out of conflict. The conflict of whether to be a state that allowed slavery or freedom for everybody. The pioneering spirit of the early settlers served as a strong foundation for our state. In the fight to determine whether Kansas would be a slave or free, sacrifices were made and lives were lost. When a pro-slavery constitution was drafted for the territory of Kansas in 1857, the people refused to accept it as their own. That Kansas spirit of democracy was relentless and resonated throughout the nation. They ratified a free state constitution and tipped the scales of the national slavery debate. The statehood of Kansas played a large part in igniting the start of the Civil War. Within 3 months of Kansas becoming a free state, war broke out, and Kansas paid a high price for their stance in the war, suffering the highest casualty rate out of any state in the Union. But the people of Kansas survived the devastating casualties of the Civil War to persevere and become a worldwide leader in wheat production and earning the nickname even of breadbasket of the world. Then the Great Depression struck in the 1930s, and an 8-year drought came with it. Wheat prices plummeted and Kansas crops were decimated, turning the breadbasket into a dust bowl. But Kansans could not be defeated. They implemented better farming practices, renewed their pioneering spirit, and continued to toil in the fields until they reestablished themselves again as agricultural giants and took their place as the leading producer of, yes, you guessed it, wheat in the United States. Kansans survived those hardships and many more, pushing on to produce world-renowned innovators and scientists, aviators, leaders, and Nobel Prize winners. Among them, Amelia Earhart, Walter Chrysler, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Bob Dole. They were all Kansans. Today we look back at where we've been, reflect on where we are, and imagine where we will go. Our aspirations are not unattainable, but the realization of whom we dream to be. When President Lincoln visited Kansas in 1859, he said of our state, quote, "No other territory has had such a rich history." And what a rich history Kansas has, as well as a bright future. We celebrate both today for Kansas Day on the anniversary of our statehood. Thanks, and happy Kansas Day to everyone.